Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the 4th season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Fixed Series. This evening we're excited to bring you top split action for the weekly straight the field race for the virtual Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park in Clermont, Indiana. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action for all types of racing, including the top split for this series, the RTP series, and Fast Fridays. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Brentz. Alongside the booth for tonight is our Canards racer getting ready to race here this weekend, Braden Lester. DJ Line is working the controls as our producer. Braden, IRP has a long history with NASCAR, but it only recently made a return back to the schedule. Tonight, we look to see how it works out tonight in C Fixed competition.
This track loved by many and hated by many more. It's a very difficult track. It's a bit like a mini Darlington. There's a lot of banking throughout the corner, very progressive banking, especially up there by the wall. It's about 12 degrees of banking to that top of half the lane maybe. So a lot of people think about a single file groove track. It can definitely make the bottom work, but that's what makes IRP so interesting. You talk about the history there. Xfinity Series started running here in 1982. The trucks in the 90s. ARCA ran here in the 80s as well and still runs there. As I mentioned, I'm running the actual ARCA Menard Series race here on Friday night at 5:30. So looking forward to that. But this track, great track, and excited to see some great racing here tonight.
So far, Diego Vieira has led the way in the point standings, but Lee Gray's been reeling him in though. It's now down to a 40-point deficit. Caleb Johnson, Jacob Sauter, Keaton Jones, your top 5 coming into this week. That's about a difference of nearly 50-plus points. Also, drivers that have done well in our splits, including Dylan Basin, Adam Garza up there we've seen do well in the broadcasted splits. You have Dwornik and Jonathan Evans up there, as well as Bo Griffin amongst your top 10 entering this week's action here at IRP. And of course, this is the start of the week when it comes to this cycle of races. These drivers coming out onto the racetrack will get their first taste of top split competition this week here at our IRP. As we are just about set to go already, the drivers getting ready to race to the racetrack, Braden. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. I don't blame you at all stumbling over the name a little bit. This track's gone through about 9 different rebrandings, it seemed, in the past decade. First, there was Lucas Oil O'Reilly Raceway Park, then it was Raceway Park, and then it was Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway. But we got a lot of hungry hippos here ready to turn 60 laps around beautiful Lucas Oil Raceway Park tonight.
Yes, indeed. It's Bo Griffin Jr. who starts the pole tonight. Alongside him is Keegan Sobayo. Then, row number 2, that features Tyler Head. He'll be alongside Roger Carruth, one of the drivers set to race here in real life this weekend. Kyle Johnson, Gary Cronin went amongst your top 6 this evening. And in 7th spot, Bo Brady will be on the second page. Isaac Shelley alongside. Hayden Swank starts off in 9th spot, and Derek Fulton, your top 10.
Dakota Long, a C Fixed regular, misses out in the top 10 starting spot by 1/1000th of a second. Tristan Bruce did his outside in 12th, and Tristan Johnson behind him in 13th. A lot of close times there in the low teens, and Todd Cray first driver in the 22nd range. But Cray, if you're asking me, in 14th. Lee Olson in 15th. Alfredo Miranda Jr. in 16th. Alex M. Bates in 17th. Rodrigo Dominguez, we've seen him quite a bit in 18th. Jeffrey Maconi needs to work on his qualifying, so his qualifier of the night, rolling off 19th. And Tyler Tomasi, a driver that's running both the truck race for Realm and the ARCA race, making his series debut in both those series this Friday night as well, trying to get some tea time. Noah Rainwater, he runs a lot of, I don't know if he actually races, but I know he helps a lot of late model guys over there in the North Carolinas and whatnot. Brandon Slow in 22nd, Chris Gutierrez in 23rd, and Ronnie Underfield with no qualifying time, John Asbury in 24th.
That's what we'll talk about at your running order here tonight from Indiana. Make our way through 2 pace laps to get ourselves sorted up. No, Todd Cray has elected to start from pit road. As we get ready for your Maconi setup shop race analysis here tonight, keep in mind 60 laps on the docket, just 60 here this evening. They can pass by quickly if it goes green as well. No fast pairs with this series. Also, there's a grand total of 2 tire sets available in the pits, meaning there can be some strategy depending on what things happen here on the racetrack. Your keys to win, Braden.
I think tire wear is definitely going to be huge here, managing that top line. We mentioned the banking on the bottom is about 7 degrees. Up there by the wall, an extra 5 degrees of banking to carry it around the track. So you can run the middle, you can run the bottom. Just if you're running more consistently, those lines are going to burn up the tires a lot more. So the guy that stays up top, the guy that saves the stuff, I think will be there at the end.
Who do you think's going to get the job done tonight and why?
I gotta go with the Gary Cronenware, aka Cornwet, there in 6. He got that podium finish at Pocono last time out. He's a short track racer up in Michigan. He knows his track almost like the back of his hand, or a lot of these tracks he does. So starting there in 6, Gary Cronenwet.
Just about ready to go racing here tonight from iRacing's virtual Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Bo Griffin in control for the field. Happy with this. Green flag is out. We're underway from IRP. And a clean start for Griffin Jr. already from the high side. Tower head already to second. A perfect start. Never mind. Someone just got sent up to the wall with no caution flag. We stay green. Derek Fulton got sent around. We stay green.
Derek Fulton and Tristan Bruce back there with trouble. To see Bruce leading Fulton, both his trucks trying to limp it around, and I think Bruce is going to be a-okay to finish. Derek Fulton, on the other hand, he's struggling, and he's got to spin out actually off a turn too, so he's going to try to maybe think to the pits. Maybe not.
Already seen 2x2 in the heart of the field so far as we continue things on. Dakota Lawn taking the momentum high side, and we've seen in a lot of cases here, you get to the outside of somebody, you can make the pass. It is higher groove up as you were talking about, as there's a big block from Swank.
Let's see Swank there. He's one of the late model drivers also out of the North Carolina. He makes a lot of big moves down there. So one of the up-and-coming in-real-life drivers to watch out for in this race. Meanwhile, speaking of in-real-life drivers, Roger Cruz, the Truck Series driver, up to 3rd and chasing down Tyler Head.
A lot of shuffling amongst the field. Let's take a look at Head in particular. He's someone that with experience working at Atlanta Motor Speedway. In regards to the public relations department, has also showed some great speed in series across the platform in the Gen 4 cars in particular. So far his truck handling very strongly up in 2nd spot and running away from Raja.
That's someone that's not running away. Actually, they might be running away, but the wrong way. That's Todd Cray. We talked about him starting from the pits. He's 13 seconds off the lead, running there in 24th. So he needs a caution. We went back into this, but Bo Griffin, half-second advantage already over Tyler Head. Running not quite up there by the wall. I mentioned it's kind of like a mini Darlington here. You don't want to run the corner the whole lap. You can, and you can find some success up there. But Bo Griffin confirmed the diamond line early on.
So continuing to race the lawn here around the racetrack. And a lot of people trying to diamond their way off 3 and 4 in particular so far.
Yeah, I see that diamond line for sure. Definitely working out, especially for Bo Griffin, Tyler Head. So Roger Cruz also using it there in that 3rd spot to try and make up some lost ground. But tight racing all over the track is not a whole lot of side-by-side racing.
As you can tell, a lot of on-throttle time for the straightaways, but you have to be heavy on the brakes and let this truck really breathe in through 1 and 2 into the apex. You slam the gas back down for the straightaways. You do it wrong, you can get mighty loose mighty quickly.
Yeah, no, I dealt with that in the ARC. I ran the ARC race here last year as well, and IRP is a track that evolves very, very quick. Running under the lights, you're a little bit cooler, a little bit more rear grip, so it's not as bad as running in the daytime, but IRP is known as a track that changes by the hour and on the hour, so it's never quite the same, and it evolves a ton throughout this race as well. I'm sure drivers are going to have to start dealing with that.
Already seen some checkup effects starting to build up with Brady, trying to hold things back. Dakota Lawn. It's the one that's trying to get the runs yet again. Right now just trying to play it high side yet again. All while Brady plays the lines very strongly. Brady doing a solid job defensively.
Yeah, we got a driver blinking out in front of him. Not sure who that is, but they are blinking through the wall, through the racetrack, and everything else in between. It's Isaac Shelley in the 23 machine. So he's acknowledged that he has an issue, but he's going to stay on track running that 7th spot. So no one's really around him right now, so it's not harming anyone, but Bo Brady's a little cautious to pass.
50 laps to go, still in this race, very early and already setting the tone in green flag style racing. Head Currently playing different lines compared to Karuf, who's trying to use the lower grooves in 1 and 2.
Karuf's definitely making up some lost ground on Tyler Head, right to that back bumper within a tenth and a half now. So Roger Karuf trying to take that second spot, started all the way back and forth. So up a whopping 1 spot so far already, the Real Life Truck Series driver. And I watched him at this race last year, and he wasn't half bad. So trying to get some more seat time, some more practice, try and find a win both here in Maconi C Fixed Series and in the Real Life NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race on Friday night.
Already a lot of side drafting as Head tries to play defense. Roger Karuf still with the poke. Let's take a quick step aside. When we come back, more action. So far, green flag racing from IRP.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to IRP as we continue on with the green flag run. 45 laps to go. And so far, this race going exactly how some would have liked it to go. No incidents. Down to just driving, and more driving to settle things. Roger Karuf did make the pass where we stepped aside. A little bit of archy-barginess with Tyler Head. Outside of that, Roger Karuf so far trying to chip in the gap on Griffin Jr. Last time by running your identical laps to the leader.
That Karuf definitely starting to make headway on Bo Griffin as he moves away from Tyler Head. So definitely one of the drivers, quickest drivers on the track right now, one to watch as we get to the final 42 or so laps. So first 18 laps definitely gone by pretty quick. That convention caution-free, incident-free, minus that lap 1 or 2 incident where we lost Derek Fulton. Meanwhile, Fulton with that heavily damaged truck has caught the tail end of the lead pack. He's gonna get spun as I'm talking about him. Down the back straightaway, caution's out on Derek Fulton.
Caution flags out for the first time tonight. And it's the 8 truck who got a lot of contact for what was the first incident of the race, and the damage is built upon for Fulton.
I don't know if that's a commentator's curse or what there, JP, but Raz went to go talk about him, talk about such a good job he was doing making up last time, caught the tail end of Noah Rainwater and Chris Gutierrez there, and looking inside of Gutierrez, we're going to get a replay here hopefully in a minute and see what happened exactly. So Fulton, the 8 truck there on the screen, that's Gutierrez in that red 18, just looks inside of him coming off of turn 3 and 4 here. And nope, it's gonna be off of 1 and 2.
Yeah, you can just see how things get bundled up here. With traffic, you think, oh, I can slow roll at the bottom, then you get tight once you hit the flat, and then you ping pong off somebody.
I say that Fulton barely taps the inside wall and barely tapped the left rear of Gutierrez, but enough to send him down the track and bring out the caution. See the damage already on the right rear. That was from that wreck earlier with, I believe, Tristan Bruce. So both drivers are doing a good job, and now it's pit stop time for everyone and their grandmas.
2 tires from Lee Olson, 4 tires from everybody else outside of Alfredo Miranda Jr. And so Roger Karuf wins the race off pit road with a better pit stop delta in the lane by 0.8 of a second compared to your previous race leader.
Well, when you do it for a living, you better be good at it.
Exactly. And now he's going to be the one in control of this field critically for the rest of this potential run. So with 40 laps to go here, it's going to be a risky play for some of those like Olsen in particular, because he was running mid-pack before taking the 2 tires. Already some drivers reporting tire wear up 7 to 10%. Temperatures on the racetrack, 84 degrees by the way in session.
Definitely a nice, cool night here in Indiana. We haven't had one of those in a hot minute. So, track nowhere near as hot as I've seen it. And we mentioned, though, this track is very evolving. It evolves, the track naturally evolves based off of cloud coverage, even at night, more so than other tracks do. It's an older track surface. This track actually one of the oldest operating tracks in the Americas. It's about as old as Daytona. It's got a road course, it's got a beautiful drag strip there that you see. So, I mean, a lot of racing of different opportunities here. We mentioned IMSA used to race it. They had a road course that incorporated the outside of the oval and part of the drag strip. IMSA used to race it. They race motocross. They race a whole bunch of stuff. So, I mean, this track is a one track fits all.
Yeah, in particular, remember, there was even a time where drivers came into retirement for what was essentially a Legend Series, too, that used to race with Jaguars, some of the most expensive race cars in the world back in the 1990s during primetime action on ESPN at the time. But now tonight, we see how the trucks play things out. Getting ready for the restart. In control, Roger Carruth off and away, and already getting himself clear. It's 3 wide, heart of the field with Dakota Long on the flat.
Dakota Long trying to make up some momentum, make up some ground on the bottom. It's 3 wide, caution in the back. That's going to work out great for Dakota Long. He might actually pick up a couple spots here to reach him for the caution. Brandon Slough back here in 19th. He saw 3 wide there, and it worked out. It's back in the pack of the field where it didn't work out.
Got some help from what it appears from the number 15, Noah Rainwater. Driver who usually races in the league scene. And so, just like that, the cautions breed cautions coming out that can pop up a lot here.
Well, Rainwater texted me as he was pacing, said, Brain, make sure you capture my good side. We're going to catch the bad, the good, and the ugly here. Rainwater in the black 15 truck, right behind the 17 of Brandon Slough. So, see him way back here deep in the field. Restart happens, a 3 wide in front of him, going through 1, going through 2. Rainwater gets a little bit too antsy, sends it up in there, I believe. Yeah, right there it was. Kind of drove through him a little bit. So don't worry, Noah, we got all the good sides and the bad ones.
And as a result, actually knocks the tailgate just about off slow, so he'll have to come in for some significant rear end repairs here. That's going to cost him a lot of time, and keep in mind these pace laps can go quickly here, 40 seconds a lap. So not a lot of time to get the damage repaired in general here if you are able to keep going.
That tailgate's not a necessity here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Coming in at just above, a lot of people call it 5/8. It's closer to 11/16, but I think if someone called a track an 11/16 mile, they'd call it stupid. So we're going with a 5/8 asphalt oval here. And like I mentioned, the cautions go by quickly. You know, aero's not a huge matter here, but Brandon Slough obviously doesn't want to be driving too damaged of a truck. Already back here deep in the field where it's hard to pass. And we're getting closer and closer to that halfway point. So the first 20 laps went really clean and green, and it's been all downhill ever since.
Later tonight's action brought to you by Maconi Setup Shop, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more here with the iRacing service. And as Roger Carruth mows the grass, reminder that they are also the official setup shop of eNASCAR. For those curious, by the way, from the Maconi camp, it's not been a fun time. He's 21st.
I mentioned one of the slowest qualifiers, actually the slowest qualifier ever to take a time. So we mentioned the first race of the night for a lot of these guys. They didn't get a whole lot of practice coming in, and what practice they did get, that's probably all the practice they had going into it. So this broadcast normally on Wednesday nights is on a Monday night this whole week. So we're seeing a lot of drivers kind of, we're seeing their true skill, their true talents here. You know, they haven't had all week to practice. They're just getting thrown in the fire, and it's working out real well for Roger Carruth up there in front.
Let's find out how well it works off this restart now. Raja in control. Coming up towards the restart box. Bo Griffin Jr. tries to keep it lined up astern as they go to the box. Green, 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 back underway. 2 laps away from halfway in this one. Raja not clear. Griffin Jr. had to hit the brakes to make sure he didn't turn around Carruth.
That Griffin Going to give Roger the break of a lifetime. Meanwhile, we are wrecking big. We have a pileup. We have a parking lot. We're at Kroger down the street here, and we have torn up about more than a half dozen trucks here. About a dozen trucks half the field, including this one coming off of turn 2.
The big one strikes down the back straight away, and a parking lot that drivers break their way out of. Caution flag is out from a 3-pronged incident, 5 lanes wide from how big the crash got.
I'm counting 15 plus drivers in this one, JP. This is basically everyone in their top 7 or 8. And yeah, so Lee Olsen has 2 tires. It worked out really well for him because he made it through it because he was up front. Meanwhile, everyone else, oh man, it's gonna be a tough one for a lot of these guys. Starts up front in the field. Mainly, we saw Dakota Long there.
And he might have been the one spun initially. He tried to get it to the high side, and then calamity.
That's some help from Bo Brady. Goes around in the whole field at this point. I mean, you're talking 15 plus trucks. Guys making through without bumpers, guys making through without rear bumpers. Bumpers flying through the air like it's trampoline on the grass. I'm assuming that was probably Dakota Long's bumper.
Yeah, that damaged a lot of trucks. Dominguez swaying amongst those with meatball flags, and plenty with potential chassis damage. Let's look on board. This is Jeff Maconi, heart of the field. Watch as calamity unfolds in front.
Yeah, when they're coming off a restart like that, the field is so tight. You don't really have an opportunity to see what's happening in front of the truck in front of you, and that's exactly what's going to happen here right on board with Jeff. I mean, you have no idea what's happening until you arrive on the scene. I mean, nothing you can do there. See the 8 truck of Derek Fulton, more damage for him. He just gashes through it. He's already got a damaged truck. What's more, it might straighten something out in his truck, you know?
And on top of that, you had people going backwards into turn 3, just trying to straighten themselves out. But the list of those included involved Dakota Long, Tristan Bruce, John Asbury, Fulton, Dominguez still getting significant repairs done on their respective truck. Also involved Jeff Maconi, Todd Gray with damage, Alex Bates, and plenty more. And we're coming up to the restart just past halfway. That's going to really impact things, to say the very least. Noah Rainwater in particular gained 10 spots from that crash.
Well, he's kind of the reason we had it. He caused the reason we had that caution. Rodrigo Dominguez, only driver to actually lose laps from that wreck. His reaction text chat, simply bruh.
Well, we've seen your contact for the race lead last restart. Let's try things again. Karuf in control. 27 laps to go here in this section of IRP here at iRacing. Oh, on the outside line, try to jump it. No black flag, though, for Griffin. That keeps him side by side for the lead. Contact caution flag is out. The leaders were in the wall. Swank goes around before it gets worse.
How did we stray so far here, JP? The first 20 laps are beautiful. This is terrible. Jeff Maconi is going to be the catalyst for this one. I believe Jeff Maconi has forgotten how to shift.
Getting to the gears so critical, right? You end up, say, having the H pattern or even the sequential. You try and shift mid-gear, you get yourself jammed in neutral, Braden. It's not a pretty sight.
Now we're going to see the gap here between Maconi, I believe. That is Brandon Slow in front of him there. See the gap right here going from second to third, or third to fourth. And the stack up behind him is heavy damage for a lot of drivers besides Jeff Maconi. 24 by Fredo Miranda. Hayden Swank also involved. We mentioned that was the reason for the caution sliding down to the bottom of the track. Maconi, heavy rear bumper damage as well. So restarts, cautions, all breed cautions.
We're under caution with 25 laps to go. We'll take another step aside. You're watching iRacing social media platforms and Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the Maconi Fixed Series.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage here from Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park. Justin Brent, Braden Laster with you. DJ Lyon, our producer here tonight. We've had a flurry of different things happen during the caution flag. Raja Karuf has apologized for the contact that nearly seen the leaders go under the caution, I should say, into the wall. Jeff Maconi confirmed just now the reason for the caution. His shifter actually broke, where he no longer has third gear. Hence why everybody had a fun time behind the 9.
That's definitely not the way you want a restart to go. It's going to go from second to third, and poof, your shifter has broke. So Jeff Maconi able to keep on going. Going to be interesting to see how this restart works out for him. We've seen him have a ton of speed on short tracks, so this just isn't going the way of Jeff Maconi. We mentioned this track very difficult to master when you got going against guys that are actually running this race and have run this race in real life. It's definitely a big challenge.
We'll see how some of the drivers fare out this time around. Raja already getting a little bit physical before we get to the restart, trying to time things up. Again, remember, with the restart zone, it's all the way down the front straightaway, meaning you can't get the initial launch in the corner here at this track this year. Not as big of a jump this time for Griffin Jr. That allows Karuf to clear. Already up to the point. And near contact. Here comes Head for third, from third.
Tyler Head with a deep send to the bottom are going to lose a ton of time. Lee Olson going to take advantage of the Head dive bomb and Ballot steals third. Lee Olson on those 2 tires seem to be working out great for him. Contact for lead. Bo Griffin gets sideways, saves it, keeps it going straight. Roger Karuf drives away.
What a save by Griffin Jr. in front of the field. Hold on to second. Karuf looks to run. Head trying to go short distance around. Not able to fully clear Olsen yet, so the top 2 try and run away. Head able to clear for third.
Yeah, Bo Griffin still hanging on to that second spot. Lee Olson trying to make it move, but got a bunch of people there. Kyle Johnson, Gary Cronin went back inside the battle for the top 5 here. Bo Brady, Keegan Sabilo, Isaac Show, the 23 had internet issues all night. Able to finally get them settled down for the final stretch of this one.
Runner went in particular right now trying to find things up the high side, but up front. See how things go now with Griffin Jr. He looks to try and sail at high side. Karuf preferring to go deeper inside than park at apex.
We've mentioned the higher to get to the wall, the more banking there is to carry you. So that diamond line seems to work out great for a lot of drivers. Hard to send it in there. Barely get your right sides up on that 12 degrees of bank and kind of give you a drive off. Bo Griffin keeping it down low and not really able to get the runs that Karuf is.
Now looks like Griffin Jr. trying to match, trying to go through the lines. Here's a good question here. Depending on the lines, do you shift here?
I don't think so, depending on their setup. I haven't looked at the truck fix setup this week. I know typically in real life you don't want to, because most of these cars, it's a 4-speed, next gen, some are 5-speed. So if it's a 4-speed, you should be able to stick it in 4th and roll with it.
Good point, especially when it comes to these trucks for the real life side. To confirm, just wanted to make sure there is no shifting currently for the drivers on rotation this week for the setup on the racetrack. But with 15 laps to go, right now, near identical lines for your top 3 outside of Karuf, who's using the double diamond. Griffin Jr. getting a touch loose in the arrow as they get ready to reach lap traffic for the first time.
That Karuf's getting just shy of 8,000 RPMs at the end of the straight. That's John Asbury, that lap traffic going from that bright neon truck. Currently still on the lead lap, running in 20 seconds, so he's got a right to fight, but this thing, the race kind of let it happen. There's no one for another 12 seconds, so get a caution, you're back on the lead lap.
Caution. Just like that, you get the caution you talked about. Tristan Bruce, amongst those involved. Randa Jr. also around in the 24 truck. And we're under caution yet again.
Tristan Bruce also involved in the lap 1 incident. And still finding some chaos. Alfredo Miranda Jr. also once again involved in this one. Both these trucks are very damaged, just trying to limp it home, and it's not going to work out for either one of them.
The caution happened towards the back here. Already no front clip for the 11.
See Miranda just get loose going through the corner here through 3 and 4. It's going to be through 1 and 2 this next time by. The 11 of Bruce already missing the front bumper. Like I said, these two drivers way back in the back. Pack is trying to limp it home and racing like it's for the win. So Miranda gets loose there on the bottom, overcorrects it right into, oh man, Tristan Bruce, and both his trucks in the wall.
And way down the racetrack. Not happy right now, it seems. Right now is that 11 truck of Bruce, because that contact gave him a black flag for incident points. He's also missed his stall on pit road, so it's not going good. Speaking of stalls, do we see anybody enter? No. With us approaching 11 laps to go, the leaders are staying out.
Yeah, this definitely opens the door for some guys like Tristan Johnson, Hayden Schwenk, Tyler Tomasi, and a couple others. Some of them are getting damaged, Dakota Long, some of them are getting tired. So that definitely, though, opens the door. I mean, we haven't really ran too many laps under caution. We're doing the main guy's caught or trouble under caution, spins out, goes through the grass. The 10 truck, I'm not really sure what he was doing. I think he was just trying to get to the back of the field and looped it on his own, so no damage for him. It's a little embarrassing.
Well, as we're under this caution flag, a good time to talk about one of the events coming up in the pipe for iRacing. Normally, we broadcast the Wednesday night splits here for this series on iRacing social media platforms. Well, this upcoming Wednesday is a charity event that will be broadcast on the platform for the 4th consecutive year. It's the iRacing and National Multiple Sclerosis Society working together for the MS charity race. The special event taking place this Wednesday, and they allow donations currently through the website. If you go to iRacing.com and go into the news tab to the 4th annual MS charity race, find out more on how you can donate all the way through to the duration of the event and be able to take part in this year's charity festivities. The event's open to sole racers and to teams, where drivers have the chance to drive either a GT or a street stock on the road course. We'll see how things play out for the charity race. Good cause, again, on the docket on Wednesday, Braden.
I heard Max Verstappen was racing in one of those.
He's been amongst those sharing it publicly on social media, I can tell you that much.
So if we ever get a chance to race against, one of the greatest racers of all time when it comes to this, raw talent, iRacing is definitely a platform that gives you the option. That's one thing that makes this platform so great, and I think that's why so many real-life drivers, use it, so many fans also use it. It puts you right in the driver's seat to get a race against drivers that you see and watch on TV on the weekend. So great opportunity there for a lot of guys to hopefully get some seat time and race against some of their favorite drivers. And donate to a good cause, too. That's always good.
Warming up the tires is Karuv. We'll see how the worn tires play out for this restart, coming to 8 laps to go. Karuv, Griffin Jr., Head, Olsen, your top 10. The 2 tires have held on up at the front. Green, green, green. Clean launch for Karuv. Can he clear? He's trying to send it for the clear. Griffin Jr. gives him a break, but tries to diamond it.
And Griffin.
Oh, no! Olsen is around, heart of the field. Caution flag is out, and yet again, more around on the back straightaway.
Another driver involved, Gary Cornwett. A couple others also getting some damage on that one. So my pick, Gary Cornwett there, started inside the top 10. Late race caution going to end his hopes. A couple others, Lee Olsen. You mentioned too, having such a great run with 2 tires, and it's going to end in heartbreak for him as his truck is a little more skewed than it should be.
Yeah, keep an eye on 4th. Just as we said, those 2 tires were working so well to hold on to the track position. it changes in an instant.
And Lee Olson, that purple 20 truck, gets a little bit of help from the 16 of Gary Cronowet, and around he goes, Cronowet goes, and at this point the whole track's basically blocked. And, oh man, I don't know who that was that came around the outside. Cronowet actually did a good job of getting around it, and then the 12 truck, Keegan Sabilo, had himself cleared, and Cronowet comes up trying to avoid the wreck, and wrong time, wrong place for both those guys.
And that puts us under yellow yet again in this one. Keep it on this one more time, as this will bring us to under 5 laps to go on the verge of GWC territory.
Definitely getting the final couple stages here.
And a lot of drivers getting themselves collected. Also amongst those, believe Fulton yet again picked up contact. Not been a pretty one there for some of those in the heart of the field, but that brings us to around 5 to go this time behind the stripe. Lucky Dog this time getting given out to Tristan Johnson to put him to 10, give it about 9 laps down. By the way, eNASCAR competition continues on iRacing social media platforms when the Coke Series makes its return to the Brickyard for the first time since 2020, as the Real Life Brickyard 400 makes its return as well. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Pre-race at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Countdown to Green. As for the 12th time in series history, the series will be racing on the 2.5-mile oval in Speedway, Indiana, Braden. That's going to be an exciting one to see the return to the Brickyard.
That Brickyard loved, like I said, tonight going in the show, loved by many, and that one not quite as disliked by many. Brickyard crown jewel, both the real world and the scene the Irish is going to tackle it back on the oval. First time in a couple of years, going to be a great show all around, and one of the more difficult bigger tracks to manage. It's not a typical, intermediate. There's not 20, 30 degrees of banking to carry around the corner, so it's big, it's wide, and it's fast.
Let's take a look at the schedule, meanwhile, for this series. Keep in mind, next week is going to be a barn burner. Daytona is the one on the docket for when the racing starts off around this time slot again. That's going to be an interesting one, much earlier than some may expect, yes. But hey, it's 2 draft tracks in a row, Daytona and Michigan, starting next week.
That definitely, if you're looking at those drop weeks, if you didn't take Mid-Ohio as a drop, you're looking at Daytona as that second
Oh
drop,
my goodness, we've had a crash under caution. What just happened? Jeff Maconi is around. Something just happened with the 9 and the 8 under yellow.
I'm sitting there looking at the camera, and it looks like Derek Fulton, who's been in about every other incident tonight, just drifted up and got into Jeff Maconi, and Jeff Maconi about grip flipped.
Well, we're coming up to a 2 to go restart. Just drifted up apparently is the reasoning. Restart is in live action right now. There's the cause for an incident and caution. So either way, doesn't matter. Lee Olson sent sideways into the wall. And we're under yellow. Once again, Tristan Bruce collected as well.
So Maconi was trying to get back up to the starting spot, kind of shuffled those guys around. They were a little disoriented, and they go green. And oh man, heartbreak for Lee Olson, already having not had a great night, and he just all F4s quickly after this one.
What happened here? We've already had a crash under yellow. We have Jeff Maconi trying to catch up to his spot, and then bam.
After the fact here, Bruce is gassed up and slams Olson and flips him actually on the side. At that point, Olson just all F4s Bruce toes to the pit. So, not really sure. I mean, I wouldn't really put that blame on anyone. I mean, Olson tried to shove down the middle of the guys or the row in front of them, but Bruce definitely, I think, won that battle.
Let's take a look. Wow. Not sure what to say.
Coming to the last couple laps. And, I mean, they're going to be eager to make a move. I don't really agree with that move by Lee Olson to try and get to the front, but you got to do what you got to do. But that's going to really hurt Tristan Bruce, as he had to tow. Derek Fulton also tows after his incident with Maconi and under caution. Meanwhile, it's going to leave us with 19 drivers all on the lead lap. So Roger Cruz, Gary Cronowet, sandwich as far as lead lap drivers.
So it's green, white, checker territory definitely now. And that means if we get to the white flag, it's a race to the checker, quite simple. If we get a caution before the white flag, it is quite simply a race that ends under yellow. And Roger Carruth, Bo Griffin Jr. have been the two leaders so far. They've raced each other respectfully for the most part up front here, Braden. How does this final restart play out, though, for the win?
Well, we've seen him be very aggressive, like I mentioned, on these green-white checkers. And we get to the white flag, I mean, at that point, we're getting the boxing gloves out because we're finishing the race under green flag conditions no matter what. If we don't get there, it's going to be eager to see who's leading at what time. So, we're coming off of 2. Griffin gets a run, moves Roger Carruth a little bit, and he's taking the lead, and caution comes out. Let's race over Bo Griffin, your leader, or someone else can sneak in there. So, I expect this to be a very chaotic restart, and I honestly expect us not to make it past turn 2.
It's been a wild one for the second half of this 39-10 S.O.F race to start off the week here at IRP. Take a look at one of the drivers that's been able to make up a lot of ground. How about this? Nearly lapped to all the way to 9th. Slough already up from this 22nd starting spot and crashes earlier and repairs under pit road to be in the top 10 and in the positive.
They're definitely making the most of what you can in the very chaotic second half of this race. Brandon Slough there, like I mentioned, up 13 spots in the 17 trucks. They're looking to pick off a couple more if you can. Another big mover, Chris Gutierrez and Noah Rainwater. These two drivers have all been involved in incidents tonight and all inside the top 10. So a lot of drivers that we did take qualifying times, it took them a little bit, but they're up here now.
That's going to be an important week, mind you, for those in the RTP ladder, with them also racing next Thursday here. Catch that here on iRacing social media platforms of Maconi Entertainment. But now this race, it comes down to this. 2 laps to decide it, just over a mile. Roger Carruth, Bo Griffin Jr. on the front row. They have been 1-2 just about this entire race. Can Carruth hold on? Can Griffin Jr. steal the lead back? Green, 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 clean restart. Carruth tries to flare up, tries to push up, contact, in the wall goes Griffin Jr.
Griffin Jr. trying to hang on, and able to get a run coming off of turn 2, not quite able to get there. He's going to set himself up for a good run off of turn 4, looks down low, doesn't get side by side, gets to the back bumper though, he's going to turn Carruth.
Into the wall goes Carruth. He bubbles. They spin at the line. White flag is out. Final time around. It's Griffin Jr. in the lead. Head trying to give chase. Same for Sobilo. Sobilo bullies Head out of the way. Coming to the final corners. Griffin Jr., after moving Roger Carruth into the wall, will take the checker flag and win the first top split of the week.
That was very chaotic. They actually were able to complete 2 laps there, and bumper is laying all in the grass down off the race surface. Drivers up in the wall, drivers going backwards, and Roger Carruth has every right to be mad. He's giving a little bumper tap here to Bo Griffin, and I mean, these two didn't play nice all night long. Griffin definitely makes it very dirty there though at the end.
And very much making sure their disappreciation is shown. How about dueling burnouts? Why don't we?
I don't think Carruth is trying to do a burnout. I think he's partaking in extracurricular activities, we'll say.
Well, this got wild. I wonder if the contact in turn 1 may have had something to do with the give and take going to what's a take.
That right on board there with Carruth, and the 3 truck gets turned. Able to actually keep it straight. Carruth finished 6th in this race, so that's a nice recovery here. And Bo Griffin is able to drive away with it at that point. So, I mean, every restart was getting tighter and tighter. Bo Griffin about slid up in the wall, got moved up in the wall, and then finally he says, I've had enough of it. It's the last restart. I'm not going to let it get me one more time, and goes ahead and uses the chrome horns there.
Again, they initially had some contact coming around through turn 1 and 2, but it ends up going the way of the 4 truck Griffin Jr. Here comes Roger Carruth, and he gives, well, his disappreciation. Roger in that race went back to 6th. because of that move.
Definitely some extracurricular activities here, and most drivers actually, when that started, I don't know if they were all across the line considering we had that wreck there, and so I don't know if it's instant points count. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll come back with some results and some interviews.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to iRacing and Maconi Entertainment for coverage of tonight's action for the Maconi Fixed Series. Start of the week for IRP started off so calm. And, well, the attrition really started to come into play by the second half of this race. Let's take a look at the official in-sim results here tonight. In the end, Bo Griffin Jr. going with the bump and run attempt all the way through turn 4. That gives him the race lead and the victory by 4/10. Keegan Survival finishing off in second. Head in third. Shelley, despite tech issues, in fourth. Rainwater able to charge his way up to fifth. Roger Karuf got moved down to sixth in the very end. Slough finishes in seventh. Craig, Gutierrez, and Jeff Picotti, despite not having third gear for parts of this race, in the top 10.
Now Tyler Massey gets some valuable seat time there in 11th. Hayden Swank, we saw him way down low in the grass multiple times tonight due to incidents. Recovers in licensed 12th place finish. Alex Bates in 13th. Bo Brady in a 14th, drops 7 spots. Alfredo Miranda Jr. in 5th. John Asbury in 16th. Cal Johnson and Gary Cronowit both involved in some late race incidents and dropped multiple spots, double digits, to finish 17th and 18th. Dakota Long, the first driver, 1 lap down in 19th. Lee Olson, first driver, multiple laps down in 20th. Tristan Bruce, also 9 laps down, 21st. Tristan Johnson, ironic, Tristan Bruce and Johnson both started side by side, and they're going to finish side by side in 21st, 22nd. Derek Fulton, we saw him quite a bit in the highlight row tonight in 23rd, and then Rodrigo Dominguez said we should just delete this race, as he's going to finish 15 laps down in the 24th.
So, a wild one flares out here. Why don't we flip things around a little bit? We have second and third. With second place, Braden Lester.
Keegan, they're going to end up finishing here in that second spot, same place they started, but it was a race of attrition going up through the field, back through the field, a ton of wrecks, and able to bring it home second. Talk us through the race.
Yeah, that race was really chaotic. I made a mistake on like lap 2 or 3 when I started outside pole and pushed it a little too hard and got into the fence, and kind of just kept getting stuck on the bottom for restarts. And then when that one wreck happened in front, where I think it was 4th place self-spawn in turn 2 or something like that, kind of was able to get a couple positions from that, and was lucky to be one of the cars on the inside there to avoid that last lap little mess.
Yeah, and then you see Raja, Caruth, and Bo Griffin start right each other for the lead down that green-white checker, and you find yourself in second. What's going through your mind at that point? Can you chase down Griffin? Can you make a run, or are you content with second?
I'm very content with second. I'm not really. I'm kind of starting to get into the NASCAR stuff. I've always been a short track guy, so for me to be able to come at a level like this of competition, I will 100% take second. It's kind of like it all opened up, and kind of just was able to get through. And then when I saw it side by side with Tyler, I was like, I at least got to get second. I think Bo was just too far out ahead, no matter what. Kind of hard to even get to him there. So, but yeah, he did a good job out there tonight, and getting the win.
Yep, with a great run tonight yourself. Anybody want to thank?
Yeah, of course. Want to thank Mac Tools, Stanley Black and Decker, and the new partnership that we were able to form. Thank you to Dwayne for making that all possible, and Colin. Awesome to be able to put this whole deal together and put it in such front of a great crowd tonight at IRP. Thank you to After Hours Restorations, Admin Box, Johnson iRacing team, Sabila Racing Esports, everyone that helps get us the racetrack, and thank you to you guys for putting on a great broadcast tonight. Gonna be fun to go look back at.
Of course, can't wait for you to watch and talk about your highlights. So congrats on the second place run, and hope to see you in victory lane or podium again soon.
Awesome, thank you.
Once again, Keegan coming away in second. Tower Head rounds out the top three. Real quickly, Tower, first things first, describe the race tonight. What was it like from your position?
I mean, the first third of the race was a lot of fun. I was abusing the tires compared to the people I was racing, so had a lot to try to learn there and was enjoying it. And then it got really herky-jerky with all of the re-racks and restarts that came with the wrecks that were happening. But obviously got chaotic there at the end. But there was a lot of fun in that first third, and then obviously a completely different exercise at the end, getting through the gears.
I was about to say, what was the battle like with the truck tonight? How did this truck feel on the circuit, and why?
I think that it was tight for everybody. I think I was making it more tight by charging the corner too hard and really abusing the right front. So unless you got onto the flat, the rear end wasn't really all that unstable. It was more so just trying to manage the right front and getting the thing to rotate through the center of the corner. Obviously, something that you always know that you're going to be going up against at a place like IRP. So that's what it was like for me, at least.
Well, on that note, Tower, congratulations on the top three. We'll see how things play out with Daytona next week.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Towerhead joining us once again. I'd like to thank him and Keegan for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on iRacing, social media platforms, and Maconi Entertainment. On that note, the next race on the docket, Daytona International Speedway. We'll be back on a Wednesday night to cover that action. The time slot starts July 22nd, 8:15 p.m. You can sign up to start things off if you want to take part in this series yourself and prove you can be the best of the best on a super speedway. Once again, Daytona week is next week for the trucks. Real quickly, Braden, your final thoughts on tonight.
We just talked about it being the best of the best in our racing, but we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly in Daytona. Definitely next week is going to be no different. Definitely a race of attrition. One of my favorite truck I've raced in real life, and looking forward to hopefully having a good run at IRP, just like Bo Griffin did tonight. So wishing everyone the best of luck, and can't wait to see everyone at Daytona as well.
It'll be an interesting time once again when we get to Daytona. But on that note, I'd like to thank the race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our viewers for tuning in. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Braden Lester. TJ Lyon was our producer. Thanks as well to the viewers for watching tonight's action, and we hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.